Do you have an aspiration, a goal of unity with the CPM?
We have a goal for reunification of the entire communist movement in this country, but it has to be on some principled basis. It's not only a question of the CPI and the CPIM, because there are a number of smaller communist groups and parties who originally belonged to the parent party and have broken off and are operating now in different parts of the country on their own. But basically, we believe that they are all communists. May have some differences, of course. And what we would like is to see a situation in which the reunification of the movement can take place on a principled basis.
The reasons for the split back in 1964 seem now very academic. Characterization of the Congress Party, relations with China, attitudes towards the international movement. The world has moved on. Why can't you forget your differences and get together?
I think you better ask Surjit that question. From our side, there's no insuperable difficulty at all. But if somebody goes on insisting that there are some basic differences, then we say that, okay, let's sit down and try to identify what those differences are. Let's formulate those differences and then try to see if they can be overcome. But I'm afraid no such dialogue has been agreed to even now.
But the moves towards merger of the CPI and the CPIM peasants' organisations and the discussion of that possibility surely bodes well for unity between the parties.
Good sign, it's a good sign, but this move for merger of the peasant organizations took off once some years ago also, but it proved to be abortive. But now the efforts are being renewed again, so that's a good thing.
Do you think that could lead eventually to real serious unity moves between the two parties?
No, I don't think the two of them are necessarily that much interconnected, you know. But of course it would create a better atmosphere, there's no doubt about that.
Do you find it difficult to work with the CPM?
To work with them? Well, yes and no, both. I mean, yes and no. We do work together.
People like Karkashan Singh Sarjeet and Jyoti Basu, are these people that you respect? Do you regard them as fellow communists?
Oh yes, very much. Definitely. We were all in the same party before '64. Jyoti Basu and I were students together in England, and we've known each other for years.
And you will have known people like Carrie Pollitt and Rajib Palmdutt in the British Party?
Carrie Pollitt.
Do you think with hindsight the split in '64 was a mistake?
Well, it was a disaster anyway, as far as the communist movement in this country is concerned. It put us back for years and years. But for that split, I think a very different setup would have been here now, by now. Certainly it was a mistake, but the point is a mistake which unfortunately has not been rectified and which is dragged on and on for years.
Do you think the CPI is keener to achieve unity than the CPM? The CPM, being the larger party, perhaps might think it has more to lose?
I can't say that. I can't measure who is more keen or less keen, but you know, as you said, the original causes of the split have become largely academic now. So, but in the meantime, during these years, 30 years or more, 40 years of the split, a large number of new people have come into both the parties. And they came into the parties at a time when the split was already an accomplished fact. They are not people who are accustomed to work in a situation where there was only one party. From the day they joined the party, whether it was CPI or CPIM, they saw that there were two parties, and at that stage, of course, the relations were quite bitter. So it takes a long time to overcome sort of prejudices, you know. And I think that prejudices and old habits and so on contribute quite a lot to this continuing deadlock. It's in both the parties.
So it's not just the other side's fault?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that, of course, they're the people who broke away. It's they who broke away from the original party and formed a new party, not we. In that sense, I think they can be held to be more responsible for the split. But now you see, the fact is that they are the bigger party in a sort of regional sense, in Bengal and Tripura, to some extent in Kerala. But this position has remained like this for years and years. They are not able to break out of this sort of confined area and expand into other areas. Although they had governments, three state governments at one stage. Now they have two, of which, of course, we are also participants. But there's really no reason why we should not make more determined effort to get together. And that can be done only if we have a serious dialogue and discussion as to what some people may consider to be important differences. Well, one shouldn't shy away from that.